Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Discordant Dragons. I had a good weekend. I hope you did. I've been ignoring most of the news because it's been cancer lately, but I went to the news trough and found some fun stuff to talk about tonight, and I've assembled a great posse to help me do so. Before we get started, I would like to remind everyone that I am experimenting with leaving Discordant Dragons up on YouTube to see if I will still receive channel strikes. Thus far, the community stream, Discordant Dragon stream from just before Christmas, did receive a strike. Then they took it away. Then they applied it again. Then they gave me a community warning. Then they took that away. And then they took the stream down and then put it back up. And they gave me another community warning and took the stream down. And I don't know why that happened. And I fought back and forth with them and didn't get a straight answer. But none of the actual Discordant Dragon streams that I've left up where we actually have memes and news and stuff have received any warnings or strikes at all. So we'll just keep rolling with that and see how it goes. If I do get a strike and I disappear off YouTube for 2 weeks, then it will be because of that probably. And I'll let you guys know when I'm back. And of course, you can follow me on Odyssey and Rumble. So if something happens and I all of a sudden am making no appearances on YouTube, it is most likely that I got a strike for an old stream. So you can find me on my Twitter, my Gab, my Minds account. You can find me on Telegram, find me over on Rumble and Odyssey. And the work that I do and the things that I like getting into will still continue even if YouTube shuts off for a couple of weeks. So there we have it. That's all I wanted to get out of the way. So let's go ahead and bring out the featured guest for the evening, Mr. Raging Mandrill, back again. Welcome back, sir.
Hello, hello. Glad to be back.
Glad to have you back. And also we have Trym's Artshack returning again.
Glad to be back.
Rounding out the party, we have Mr. Fat Dave from the bullpen of friends I pull from. Welcome, Dave.
Aloha.
And the usual co-host, Mr. 3 of 12. Good evening, sir.
And what you just described you sounds like some freaking bit of dealing with like a bank teller in a 1930s film. So I'll give this to you and I'll take this back from you and we can switch this and I'll get this back to you.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's what it was like having to deal with YouTube censorship. It's madness because you never get a straight answer. They never tell you exactly what in a stream or a video offends anybody. They never give you a timestamp. And half the time, whenever they say, here, the reason that you received a community warning thing about this is the box is just blank. There's nothing in it. So you have no idea what the hell they're talking about. It's just mad.
It's because it was just done by some rando who actually was the one who was offended. It's the employee who's offended.
No, I don't think it's anybody reporting anything. I think it's just algorithm screwing with me.
Oh, you're right. I forgot the bots are doing that now.
Yeah, like I don't know. Anyway, so tonight, we actually have some pretty serious dragons to talk about, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Let me do this. Let me pull up this. Now, the topics tonight, the red has It's Always War. The green has Omar's Mystery Money. The black has the AI question. The white has Time to Make Lemonade. And the blue dragon has To Deport or Not to Deport. That is the question. So, tonight, let's see. Raging Mandrill, you were party leader last time you were here, weren't you?
Most likely, yeah. Or no, wait. I think I wasn't actually because I was only there for part of it, maybe.
Okay, well then you can be party leader tonight because I like you best anyway. So let's let you be the party leader, and you can decide if you are going to choose a topic or if you're going to nominate a party member to choose a topic. So, do you want to pick one first, or how are we going to get started?
Yes, excellent nepotism as always. Yes, I'll pick one first, I suppose. We'll do what I usually do, and we'll go right down the line. But
okay, sounds good.
I will pick first since I am the leader. So,
all right.
Let's see. Well, let's see. I think the Time to Make Lemonade. I know what that one's likely about, and that's probably related to the blue dragon as well. So let's just get into.
Yeah, I know, right? You would think that, right, Big O's? No, it doesn't work that way.
Emaciated Dave.
Oh, what do you say? Where's emaciated Dave?
Victorian time traveler said something. Been a long time since I've heard from your lesser-known cousin, Emaciated Dave.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good, Vic. That's good. That's good.
The fattest Dave on 2Ds.
Good joke. Thank you. All right. So anyway, which one did you choose there, Mandrill? We'll get started.
I will go with Blue Dragon first off.
Blue Dragon. Okay. Okay. This one is, there we go. All right. Nope, not that button. I clicked the wrong thing on OBS. I'm glad glad I didn't screw it up. All right. Over on, what's this from again? This is from
American News.
Millennial. Christy Nome says that 70% of detained illegal immigrants face charges or convictions. Quote, you guys keep changing your percentage. You pick and choose what numbers you think work, but this is the facts. 70% of the people that we have detained have charges against them or have been convicted of charges. Homeland Security, Christy Nome, claimed that 70% of, we just read that. She made the remarks on Sunday's CBS Face the Nation while discussing immigration enforcement in Minneapolis, which DHS has described as the largest operation in history involving nearly 3,000 federal agents. Here's a quote. I think every day we get a murderer off the streets of Minneapolis, the public is safer, and President Trump is keeping his promise to the American people. We literally have arrested and detained thousands of illegal criminals in Minnesota since Trump came back into the White House, Nome said. And I've never met a family that said, oh, I wish you wouldn't have let that rapist go free. I wish you would have left that murderer on the street. So we're just so thankful that we have a president that's upholding the law and is determined to make sure that laws are applied equally to everyone. Yeah. Host Margaret Brennan asked Nome how DHS determines what level of deportations constitutes a successful operation. Nome responded by blaming the Biden admin, claiming that it allowed up to 20 million people unvetted into the country. And so we're not going to read the rest of this. This is just a launch point to get to the Dragon's question. So let's go ahead and check out the blue with us tonight, which is this handsome fella. The blue with us tonight is one of the cosmic worms who swims the cosmos and enjoys looking in on us here on Earth. He's the same one who visited us last year, and he is glad to be back. He wishes us the best in our struggle against all of the ugliness that we face. But he wanted to ask us a specific question about the immigrants situation in the United States. So, Mandrill, you chose this first. Let's just get the ball rolling here. Should immigrants be tried for their crimes and punished in the U.S. or deported without U.S. penal action? Discuss.
Ooh, now see, this is a difficult question.
I know, that's why I asked it.
See, this is the problem that we face, right? The dilemma. If we try them for their crimes, you punish them, you put them in prison for the time required, what happens when they get out eventually? Whether it's 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, whatever it is, right? What if it's life? What then? Now they're a net burden on the American taxpayer, of course, and even more than before, I suppose, but even deeper in debt. And so, like, what should be done about this? Because if you just simply deport them, like, especially after, a violent crime or something of serious nature like that, does that do justice to the family, right? Well, I mean, for the more violent crimes, I think, like, especially the ones that the death penalty applies for, don't bother deporting them. That should be carried out as a full sentence. And if the left wants to avoid the death of that individual, you can, their only option should be deportation, basically, to avoid the death penalty. Is you basically force them to self-deport. If you
we've talked on the stream before, like awful crime offenders, like regular rapists, regular drug peddlers and drug pushers, murderers. It should be either excommunication or execution. Like, that should be the only options. Like, you either make sure they're gone forever, or you literally make sure they're gone forever. Like, I think the worst of the worst. I think that's a good way to handle that.
Right. I mean, I don't even want them to necessarily be deported. That's just like a courtesy to,
Right.
I'm not even sure we should be granting out courtesies at this point.
One-way trebuchet.
Party with the best ideas, the most creative. Yeah. I mean, it's a huge moral quandary, and I'm not sure that I have a very good answer for it. You're weighing two different competing moral priorities here, which is justice for the victims or their families and justice to the American people. And if you put them in sentencing and Democrats get back into power, well, there's a very good chance that they're going to get out on bail. They won't they'll be released early for one reason or another. They'll be pardoned, and they just simply won't be deported under a Democrat administration. So, like, what is the solution here? And I'm not sure. I think that the real answer is you need to expedite executions. Basically, you need to make sure that if they're really that bad, and this is just
the question is not necessarily about the worst of the worst. It's about the people that we don't want here. Obviously, illegal immigrants is what we're talking about here. I should have phrased it that way in the question. It means illegal immigrants. I forgot to type that. The illegals that are here, not necessarily the ugly ones that do horrible crimes, but just the crime of being here illegally. Do you think they should be punished as well, or do you think we should just get rid of them as fast as possible?
Oh, just get rid of them as fast as possible.
Okay.
Just get rid of them. Like if it's not, the problem is of course, as we know, a lot of the illegals do our other crimes, right?
Right.
This is a huge issue. But like generally, if you're saying the hypothetical case where an illegal has done nothing else wrong that is prosecutable, if they have no outstanding warrants, if they're not wanted for any crimes, or if they're not wanted for suspicion of any other crimes, in connection of any other crimes, I should say, yeah, like just get rid of them. Just immediately deport. Like just don't even bother. Obviously collect their name, collect their fingerprints, and all the rest of the biometric data and all of that shit. But immediately deport, no questions asked. Just get them out. Get all of them out as quickly as possible. Like I think the problem with the immigration system as it currently exists is it is not designed for the scale that we face. The Democrats know this. The left knows this, which is why they're doing it. And so we need to just expedite. But I think Trym's Artshack might have something to say. Anyone else below?
Yeah, go ahead, Trym.
Conversation.
Yeah, when it comes to this, it all depends on the crime. Like, they're already illegal immigrants, so that is just deported. However, the more crime is added on top of that, the crime must be punished harsher. And I also believe in making examples out of things, especially those who are already illegal. There should be
the ones who have already murdered a bunch of people or raped a bunch of girls, that kind of thing.
Exactly. And I do believe something like the funny little trebuchet would be entertaining, but I genuinely believe straight up execution for murderers, rapists, child traffickers, human traffickers in general, actually.
Yeah.
The more inhuman the crime, it would just be not even firing squad. You would just be thrown into a electrical chair without a sponge.
No, that's a little crazy. Like, regular, quick and clean firing squad, or like professional
easy and clean. That was basically what I wanted. But then again, what is most effective is just a bullet, quick and easy. You find, as soon as you find it that they have committed those crimes, firing wall. If not, you just deport them.
Yeah, this sounds like an actually actionable plan.
Because it does put forward a good face of, we are not going to tolerate this anymore. Look at these monsters. These people trafficked humans. They raped a bunch of people. They killed a bunch of people. It's like in the old school times when they would put a bad criminal's heads or hands up on spikes and be like, look, this will happen to you if you do this here, that kind of thing. Like, there needs to be some kind of criminal fear mongering to let them know that, you can't do this here or we're going to see to you quickly and harshly, type of thing. I think that kind of message is necessary.
And I think I can go even further down that road, actually.
I just want to point out two examples, though, of using criminals to warn other criminals. You have the public hangings in Pirates Era, where just leave the corpses, and then you have a certain Wallachian voivode who used, bad people as gardening tools.
I think there's two things I want to say here. So Ardent Party has a great comment in the chat where he says, citizens deserve due process. All others are permitted to remain on sufferance. And that's generally what my attitude is very close to. Right. Illegal aliens. And there's all sorts of case law where they've dealt with this, I'm sure, at the Supreme Court level. But the fundamental problem is you because of the criminal nature of illegal migration, right? It is criminal by its very nature. It is being done at scale because of its criminality, because it is a flagrant violation of the law, and it is being done in such large numbers that it threatens the sovereignty of the state. It threatens the legitimacy of the democratic process. Therefore, you essentially have to. It's not quite the same category as "quote unquote" legal immigration, right? Those are people who, whether we like that or not, those people have been brought here through a legal process where, in Congress assembled, passed legislation, blah blah blah, right? That is legally going to be considered a different category, and also morally on a moral level as well.
Right.
However, illegal immigration is therefore different. So if you say, oh well, all others are permitted to remain here on sufferance, I would agree. The illegals are not supposed to be here in the first place, and so you can indeed suspend habeas corpus for them. You can suspend the legal rights because that they are already a flagrant, criminal underclass, basically at scale, and that's how essentially the legal justification of how you get to being able to use the Insurrection Act and deport migrants en masse. So that's the way that you do that, using a more classically, I guess, maybe Heinleinian framework, or more conservative framework.
Yeah, see, I like what our good sister Dawn Browning says. They need to change laws to include NGOs as human traffickers, because boy do they. Do they, like NGOs, like all these billions of dollars of government money, not just our government, but other governments and corporation money, getting funneled into these basically fly by night, you can create a name and throw it away agencies that just help funnel foreigners into our countries. Like, they need to be tried as traffickers, because that's what they do.
Yeah, 100%. Because they facilitated how the hell else are people from Somalia and Cameroon getting here illegally?
Right.
They're doing it through
they didn't just flap their wings and fly.
Right, exactly.
Or flap their arms, excuse me.
And we didn't invite them here. They got here through NGOs. Of course, we all knew who was funding most of those. But it's it really is trafficking on a wide scale, just to dump people into our country. And very much like people who aren't citizens have no right to due process. They have no right to the courtesy and civilization that we proffer to our citizens. They should be picked up and thrown the fuck out as soon as possible if they haven't done any other crimes. Like, just being here illegally is enough of a crime to get thrown out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unceremoniously thrown out, like not even in a nice way, just dumped on
one-way trebuchet,
fucking Mexico, right?
This is the inherent problem, Fat Dave. The problem is the court system, right? The court system is deliberately delaying the process of throwing illegals out, right? Essentially, you have to find a mechanism to avoid these legal processes being drawn out for as long as possible. Yeah. And everybody who's known about the illegal immigration problem, which is, if you've been in these circles for more than a little bit, you'll have heard about it all. The courts essentially love to, and as we've seen, the judges are literally helping illegals escape through the back door. Basically it's not an unheard of pattern where an illegal alien gets charged with immigration crime, and then their court date comes up, and they just never show up for it because nothing ever happens. So the rampant criminality, you have to set a legalistic standard, and you have to say, look, this is a broader plan, and you have to just immediately throw them out without any sort of trial proceeding whatsoever, right? This is already a huge issue. They are not entitled to a trial by jury, right, or anything like that. Right.
And and then that'll bleed into something else, and I won't start talking about that until then, but it's it makes enforcement actions against them legal by default. Right. If they're here illegally, then our enforcement actions against them to remove them don't require a warrant. They don't require all that bullshit.
Right.
Like, as soon as they can fail to show proof of citizenship, they get thrown the fuck out. Now, as far as like the punishment, I mean, a lot of people who got shipped over here, especially from places like Venezuela, were were murderers and rapists and thieves before they even got to our country. I mean, Maduro dumped tons of his prison population into our country. Mm-hmm. So they and what, you know, do we punish them here? Like, how do we punish them here without making more of a burden on the American public?
Yeah, see, right? I thought about the reason I made that question really short and simple is I thought about this a long time today, and I hate that I messed up and forgot to put the word illegal on the card. But when it comes to people who are here illegally, now I know that most of us here, we don't like the bulk of legal immigration, but that's an entire different conversation. When we're talking about people who are smuggled in, or border jumping, or whatever you want to call it, people that get here by whatever illegal means and are just here, those people need to be removed. And I know that for the thousands and thousands of victims of theft and rape and trafficking and all of that, it doesn't sound like satisfying justice just to kick them out. I get that. And I would like there to be justice. But the problem is, like you talked about with the courts, and also, even if the courts were not gumming up this process and actively resisting, that is thousands and thousands of man hours of having to process people, because we have so many people here illegally we need to get rid of. Like,
right,
we're at the point of scale now to where it would be difficult to even process all of them and hold them. It would take years upon years to even get them all through the system properly. So as much as I want justice, and as much as I think it would be the right thing to do to imprison them, try them, and either give them a proper punishment, whatever that might be, I'll leave that up to your imagination, or whatever that is, I think that it's probably better for our well-being long-term just to get as many of them out as possible, as quickly as possible. Because in America alone, we're looking at the low estimate is like 35 to 40 million illegal immigrants. God. There's no way to process that many in the next decade legally and properly. You just can't do it. There aren't enough prisons. There aren't enough court workers. There's not, like, it's a matter of scale. So even if we hired another 100,000 ICE workers and Border Patrol people, that alone, just getting rid of them is a Herculean task, let alone trying to properly process and try all of them. So I think I just have to say, I know that it sucks that some people won't get justice, and I know that we all like our by the letter of the law. Like, I'm one of those people too. I like that. But you have to put the well-being of your people and your country first. And we just have to get rid of as many of these people as we can, as fast as we can. It's just, it's a colossal disaster. There's no good way out of this. So that's what I come to at the end of this is, if people are in power and have the ability to start getting rid of these people en masse, they just need to do it as quickly as possible.
Yes, I'll completely steel man you on that, because it's not a moral crime for a government to operate in a practical way, not in any way whatsoever. So, I mean, I was going to double down on what Trym was saying and say, like, dude, not only should we put a bullet in some of these people, and I'm willing to make, distinctions based on what they've done and based on the agreements we have with other governments, because other governments just want the people back, right? They just want the people back, because let's be honest, even they know how to deal with their scumbags, and they know what they want to do with them, and I'm fine with that. If they want them back, you can have them, fine. But the emphasis needs to be on practicality, and with a lot of these people, if they're violent, if murder, rape, aggravated assault, aggravated robbery, trafficking, put a bullet in them. But I'd go even further than what Trym said. Use them as compost. They need to return some. I mean, no, we really do need to recoup our losses on this. And I mean that, like, to an extreme extent. Like, that's one of the best ways they can return some value back to our economy, because of how insanely expensive fertilizer is. And composting has been one of the greatest ways that my state and my county have actually recouped a lot of money on their public.
As much as I don't want violent illegals here, I'm not for the compost them argument. Sorry, that's not for me.
Composting sounds a lot like mass graves.
Yeah, I'm not for that. That's.
Not mass graves, because they don't get a grave.
Oh yeah,
yeah, but you know what I'm saying. Like, that's a mess. You have, like, that's.
Exactly.
Like,
The wood chipper
I
solution
understand your
works a lot.
sentiment, but again, it's a problem of scale. It's a
Right.
problem of scale. I don't want there being mass graves where people are going to farm literally with the compost bodies of a
No,
bunch of
you put it in
violent
a bag and you
behemoths.
give it out to people.
Make 'em into
That's literally
fucking
what my government
storage
does.
cubes.
That's funny.
We send them they pick up our compost with the garbage, and then they give it away to the farmers in bags. It's saved enormous amounts of money.
I see 3 of 12 definitely wants this stream to get a strike on YouTube. So let's.
No. See, we haven't even gotten to the most creative idea yet. Yes, the most creative idea is Ardent Party's idea. Once again, this guy is just the most incredible creativity. Right? Feed them to the gators and then make gator jerky. I see nothing wrong with it.
Like, no, realistically, if you wanted something punitive, if we had the ability, like having labor camps, like, the old timey cartoon chain gang breaking rocks with hammers, like you could make them do that till they die. Like that's, but still,
I'd be okay with that.
I know you'd be okay with that, but it's a matter of space, manpower. Like you would have to have thousands upon thousands of acres of land and guards and electricity to make all that happen. Like that's a huge expenditure of our resources for.
Yeah,
action, and I think it would be healthier for all of us just to remove them.
Yes, I don't disagree with that either. The whole, if you had a sort of labor of criminals scheme, it'd have to be profitable at the end of the day. It'd have to do something that actually saves us money. So if setting up the scheme takes so much money that we never get the money back, sure, don't do it then. But we have done it in the past, and it has been profitable, and El Salvador still does it. And
hey, maybe if Trump buys Greenland, we can just put them all there.
Oh, maybe. Right. I mean, yes, they could mine the minerals, but that's if they're trustworthy to even do that. A lot of these people have such a low IQ that they can't do anything productive with themselves, even when forced to. So you have to put a bullet in them. I'm sorry. It's just the sad truth.
I still think Ardent Party's idea is the most realistic. Look, we've already got a mode. The Rio Grande is already a mode. You just have to use the DHS and also, the Forest Service and introduced American alligators to the Rio Grande. And then congratulations, now you have a gator-infested moat that they have to cross. Perfect.
Now you're just mocking me.
No, a gator-infested moat's a cool idea. That's a cool idea.
Highly practical. Very cheap.
Attraction, certainly. Imagine the tourist money you can make of it. Come on, along the
don't want it to be a spectacle.
Farm.
And it creates jobs for our buddies, the redneck population. We need to create white well-being and more white families, and so of course we need more jobs for good old boys as well. So
but whatever it is, it's got to be productive and it's got to be profitable and it's got to do something good.
Yeah, and then guess what? You have random gators, and you can make gator skin boots, and that becomes the new fashion trend in Texas and all of these other places. So congratulations, you've now once again everything is just aligning here. I can see it. If you build it, they will come.
Well, that was a fun
or they
conversation.
Won't come, I should say.
But for sake of time, since we have other topics I really want to get to, anything else on this before we wrap up and move on from you guys? Any closing thoughts?
I hope you guys get Greenland and you rub it in the Danish face for a century.
I have a meme about that later. We'll get to it.
Like killing it with prisoners.
So, as a reminder to you lovelies who listen to this channel and support my work, I would love it if you would share some of your hard-earned dollars with me over on Entropy, perhaps over on Cash App or on PayPal, like our good sister Dawn Browning does a lot. Let's see here. Let's go ahead, though, and since we don't have any paid chats, let's go ahead and move on. We will bid adieu to the lovely Blue Dragon. And let me drop that banner real quick. There we go. All right, we started off with to deport or not to deport. And so that means it is time for the next dragon, Raging Mandrill.
Yes.
I mean, you're the party leader, so are we moving on to Trym?
Yes. We are moving on to Trym.
All right, Trym, you have the next choice. What will it be, sir?
His choice, oh great Master Mandrill, yes. Let's see. You know what? Omar's mystery money.
Okay. Let's
go with green.
All right. Okay, good times. Those of you who pay attention to American stuff probably know what this will be about. But here we go. Moving over to the Daily Mail. I think it's Daily Mail. Yeah. Ilhan Omar under investigation for skyrocketing wealth as she berates reporters for questioning her about fraud. Now, this is long, but the gist of it is this. We'll read a little bit of it. Omar, this is, of course, Minnesota Rep. Ilhan Omar, has been launched, a House Republican investigation into Ilhan Omar has been launched after newly filed financial disclosures show that her family's reported wealth exploded to more than $30 million in a single year. The House Oversight Committee, led by James Comer, is examining how the Squad lawmaker and her husband rapidly amassed millions of dollars at a time that $9 billion of Somali social service fraud scandal has exploded in her state. Investigators are openly weighing subpoenas as they probe whether politically connected businesses tied to Omar's family warrant deeper scrutiny. The investigation follows several prosecutors opening a broader investigation into alleged industrial-scale fraud involving billions in social service fraud in Minnesota. Republicans say the scandal alone makes Omar's apparent financial windfall impossible to ignore. We are going to get answers, whether it's through the Ethics Committee or the Oversight Committee, one or the other, Comer said to a New York Post. The scrutiny intensified after Omar's 2024 financial disclosure revealed her family's net worth ballooned, jumping from negligible assets to a valuation that as high as $30 million in a single year. And the rest of the article goes into details showing the documents, talking about the business that she runs with her husband. I shouldn't say a business. It's basically like a dummy account of a business that on paper had between $0 and $12 for about 2 years. Then in 1 year, it had $28 million worth of serviceable income with no employees. So that's a bit sus if you ask me. I'm just saying. So let's go ahead and move to the Green Dragon here. The Green with us tonight is a miserly old worm who manages the vast sums of wealth of his clan's holdings. When he studies other worlds, he always follows the money, so to speak, to learn what's going on. He finds the web of fraud, trickery, and usury on our world fascinating because of its complexity. He chose this story tonight to ask us about Omar's sudden wealth. So, Trym, this comes to you first. Where do you think Omar's wealth comes from? Is it just theft via fraud? Or do you think she is being paid by political powers, foreign or domestic?
Honestly, both. Genuinely both. It is... A lot of it is theft via fraud, let's be honest. I'm pretty sure she's one of the... I probably don't want to started it, but she was the medium through which the Somali scams went through, or at least with the newer ones. But she is a politician through and through, meaning that she is a scheming, slimy parasite. So she is being paid out of God knows where by God knows who. That is my opinion.
Okay. Anything else? Anything else you have to say on it?
Well, I hope you manage to get her out of the country as quickly as possible, and that you seize all her assets as quickly as possible as well, because none of that money is hers.
Yeah, I would love to see her. I would love to see her deported and all of her assets seized. That would please me. That would make me so happy.
Oh,
but
God, the catharsis from that would be so sweet.
Yeah.
I'm watching this.
She has been so evil for so
Yeah.
long and said such ugly things about America, about white people, about Christians. She has said such nasty, ugly things and has been pushing anti-white vitriol for a decade. I would love to see her deported. Like, it's just, that would be justice, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, she speaks like a turkey. Whenever I see her, I see a turkey gobbling. And the thing is, I've been watching this whole thing since it started, and I'm rooting for you guys something fierce. I need to see this happen. Fingers crossed for y'all.
All right, who's next on this one? Who else has something to say?
I don't really actually know too much about the specifics of where her wealth comes from. I know she supposedly engaged in some amount of insider trading. And I'm sure
that was a few years ago, yeah.
I've never paid attention to the exact NGOs that she's screwed around with. I don't really care. I've already come to a conclusion about her that everything that she does is evil, especially with, like you just mentioned, the shit she goes onto national television and says every fucking day, which is just absolutely deplorable nonsense. It's never anything but just ad hom. It's just complete ad hom. I hate Americans. I hate whites. I hate Christians. It's just that every single time. It's irredeemable behavior. I'm sure
she also
gets
goes
tons of
pretty
money.
hard on Israel and the Jews, but I don't mind that.
I don't mind that so much. I would say, like,
all that.
hey man, maybe don't be mean to all the Jews. You know, there's some cool ones out there.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that. It's just, you know, when people attack other foreign groups, like I don't care. But it's like I don't like her vitriol. I don't like her game, and I especially don't like how anti-American and anti-white she is. And it sickens me that people like her are empowered in my country and are either given millions of dollars by people who hate us too, or she's in the process of just literally stealing millions of taxpayer dollars from us. Like, both of them make me angry.
Yeah, and I'm sure that there's some trickle down money from, like, the terrorist groups that she's used to associate with, like Al Qaeda in particular. Because she basically just sat down her interview and said, "Yes, I was trained by Al Qaeda when I was a teenager." And, like,
as far as I can tell, that part's true. Like, I think that's true because I looked it up.
There's video of her. There's literally video of her being at the camps that they
I know, but
had.
I don't trust anything I see anymore because of how AI is. So, like,
yeah, but those are years old. I've seen I've been seeing those videos for years. They're real.
I didn't see them until recently.
Well, so, it didn't become big news until recently how tied if she actually is with the Somali government. But she's super in bed with the Somali government and has been for her entire time in the state.
There was a great video going around Twitter today about a local American black in Minneapolis talking a bunch of shit about Somalis and how, you know, they aren't the same just because they're black, and the Somalis are all insular and nepotistic and they hate each other. And I was like, that's how it works.
Yeah, that's basically any group that isn't American. They're all going to be in group preference, and that means not you.
Yeah. That's how the community survives in our country, is by balkanizing, you know.
It's basically how any inferior group functions.
Yeah, pretty much.
Especially the Jeets.
So I think when they dig in on this, and I think they've already found her husband tied to some daycare shit.
Yes.
But when they dig into it, they're just going to find tons of fraud.
Yeah.
Right. They'll find that a lot of her money came from fraud. They'll find, well, of course, and a lot of her money isn't necessarily in her account. It's part of it is her husband, you know, her brother husband. So
no, you mean her brother?
No, I know the husband the husband the article references is not her biological brother. It's
her uncle grandpa.
Yeah, it's a different one.
And also, Big O's brings up a good point. One of the things that frustrates me about the incompetency of the so-called right in politics is there is more than enough information that is actionable to have already deported her or sentenced her to prison, but they have not done it. And that frustrates me. It infuriates me because this has been known for years. Because I remember back in the teens, this was already known about her, and nothing's been done about it.
Yeah,
it's infuriating.
Well, and it's like I said in chat, you know, they'll find out, they'll dig in, they'll look and blah, 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 and then they'll do absolutely nothing about her. They'll just fucking say, oh, well, she was bad, and they'll keep using that as a talking point. And they won't fucking do anything about it.
You all have to read this because I had to read it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh
That's actually a wonderful heuristic.
That's hilarious. Oh my god.
Shirt.
I don't agree. I want the foreigners gone. I don't care what color they are. I don't care if they're white. I want them gone. I don't want illegals here, and I don't want masses of foreigners here. Like this country is supposed to be for this select few that we give the opportunity to be with us, no matter what their race or religion is. I don't want masses of foreigners coming in. I don't care who they are, what religion they are, where they come from. I just don't want that. It's unhealthy for us.
Well, I found an article in the Saturday Evening Post in 1920 that's talking about the worth of citizenship and talking about how our naturalization laws have diluted the worth of actual citizenship. And this is
and that was from 100 years ago. Just think about
it
that.
was 100 years ago, right? And they were talking about the Italians and the Huns.
Yeah.
In there. But it's this is doubly bad because these people aren't even getting naturalized. They're not even attempting to go through any kind of legal process or anything.
It's just invasion.
The other thing. I think as far as Omar goes, like as soon as she went over to another country and that president said, oh, well, she's our congressperson, she's going to look out for Somalia. It's like, good, well, she can stay there and never, ever come back. And we'll go ahead and take what the American citizens have given to her back, give it back to the American citizens, and she can fucking stay in Somaliland. You know, she doesn't need to be here. Not with her virulent anti-American and anti-white rhetoric that she spews daily.
Yeah. It's just all the time with her. She's just full of hate for us and our way of life and everything. Like, I can't stand that woman. And it disgusts me that people like her are allowed to be in politics. I don't think foreign-born people should be allowed to have any kind of public office.
Yeah, I agree.
Like most countries are like that. I don't like how not for us this country has become. And that started a long time ago. This is not modern. Right? It was a long time ago.
We actually have the opposite. Not too long ago, within the last 2-3 decades, Norway has gone the same direction, but much faster. We have in our AP, Labour Party, Arbeiderpartiet, we have a Somali just dude who haven't really finished any kind of registered education, who's now part of the family department, Ministry of Family Departments.
Disgusting.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. And he goes around and starts campaigning for, oh, we can't have grok here. It's ridiculous.
Deport.
Yeah, we have so many of these things.
I broke my deport button. I need another one.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of the legislation that these people are using to subvert and steal from us was introduced and supported by Omar. Like, she's enabling this fraud at a systemic level, not just she's not just helping it on the ground level, but she's helping the government give money to the fraudsters, which you would 100% expect from somebody who has no loyalty to us, has only loyalty to her own people. And
who makes it blatantly known that she hates us.
Exactly. Exactly. So I'm curious to hear what Rachel has to say about this.
Sorry.
If he's still there.
Mandrill?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm curious what your opinion on this is.
I mean, I don't have a differing opinion really from the rest of the panel. Let me put it this way. Does it really matter that she's getting paid by political powers? Like, all of her money is being stolen one way or the other anyway, and that's the main point, I think. Just keep the narrative point simple here is she's just a fraud from top to bottom. It doesn't matter precisely who is paying her. I mean, she probably is being bribed at some point by whoever political power. It doesn't matter which one. They're all foreign. It's all bribes. It's all stolen money, all of it. So, we just need to deport her already. Just get rid of her.
Yeah, I think, I understand that people who are here in some kind of legal fashion, there should be some kind of proper legal channel action taken to remove them. But I think that we should waive that right for people who are blatantly anti-white, anti-American, anti-Christian. Like, if someone is here, whether legally or otherwise, and uses money, time, voice, social media, etc., to actively hate and sabotage the people of this country, they should just be gotten rid of. Just get out. Like, you clearly hate us. Why are you here? Goodbye, kaboot. Like, that's... People like Ilhan Omar make me sick. Ugh.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a perfect world, Ilhan Omar would have been thrown the hell out as soon as she tried to apply for any kind of government job.
Yeah, I agree with Fallspark here.
That's Trym.
That's my alter ego.
Oh.
The TF Allspark.
I don't get that reference. What's the TF Allspark? What's that?
Transformers Allspark. I am a huge Transformers nerd.
Oh, okay. I think Transformers are cool. I'm not. That's not my tism, so I don't know a lot about it.
I know a bit.
Me and Dave had fun with that. We talked about that time Starscream went to Israel and he had a strange transformation.
That's right. Oh God, that was hilarious.
You know, if she's Somalia first, why doesn't she just go there?
Right?
I just
Oh, this is a funny thing. I'm sorry for interrupting. I just remembered the video. In a court case. Somali was being judged or sentenced for fraud, right? And she was being sentenced for immediate deportation, to which she lost her mind and started saying, "You cannot send me back. You can't send me back. You can't send me back." Just tried to run around. Like, have you ever tried to get a...
That sounds hilarious.
It is hilarious. It's like seeing... Have you ever been in a farm and tried to take a sheep by the wool and lead it somewhere where it doesn't want to go?
No,
it is just like that. They had to hold her shirt and she tried to run and jump away. It was hilarious.
Well,
and I keep seeing Ilhan Omar like that every single day. Every single time I close my eyes.
Yeah. When it comes to the question, the reason I asked it is I wondered if you guys thought she was being paid heavily because she is such a prominent voice for white erasure, for biological destruction of the Minnesotan ethnos. Like, I wondered if you thought she was being paid because she's such an active agent for that, or if you think she's just straight up stealing that money like all the other fraudsters up there. I just was curious what you thought. Because honestly, I could see it being either one.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she's getting some Soros bucks in there. But it's not mutually exclusive at all.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both, really. Again, Somalis have, in any country, they are really prone to scam because it's just part of their tribal nature. They don't see it as a scam. They just see it as a way of gaining something for their own tribe. But I'm also pretty sure that she would be acting for other powers for her own benefit as well.
Possible. Well, before we move on, we had a generous donation over on PayPal from our good friend Dawn Browning in chat. She sends $20 on PayPal. Thank you so much, sister. I really appreciate you sharing your money with me. And she sends a bunch of white hearts for the panels. Thank you so much, sister. I appreciate that. It means a lot. And let's make sure I'm not leaving anybody else out. Oh, we have Stumbling over on the Entropy. Stumbling for $3. TIL, it's pronounced Somali and not some alien.
Oh my God.
That's pretty good, Stumbling. That's pretty good. Stumbling has good wordplay. I like it when he sends in funnies. Thank you.
He's a sharp dude.
Yeah, he's good. I like Stumbling. All right. Well, let's drop the banner and bring back up the dragons. We'll bid adieu to this greedy green and go back to the topics. We just finished Omar's Mystery Money, which means Raging Mandrill's decree states that the next one to choose is Fat Dave.
Indeed,
Dave,
yes.
What will be the next Dargan?
Let's go to It's Always War.
Okay, with the red. Now, this was the one that we talked about a little bit before we went live. This is the one about Iran. So perk up and pay attention, 3. I know you had shit to say about this. All right. Iran's Khomeini is talking about Trump like a man who just won a war. This is from PJ Media. The supreme leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran is talking like a man who just won a war, and maybe he has. I hear constant clicking. I told people. Me. Okay, all right, stop that. Either mute yourself or stop it. The nationwide demonstrations have largely subsided. President Donald Trump has not yet made good on his January the 2nd statement that if Iran shoots and violently kills peaceful protesters, which is their custom, the U.S. will come to their rescue. It's now January 13th. On January 13th, his assurance to, I'm sorry, it's not now. On January 13th, his assurance to the Iranian protesters that help is on the way. In fact, the president appears to have walked all of that back, writing on Friday, I greatly respect the fact that all scheduled hangings, which were to take place yesterday, have been canceled by the leadership of Iran. Thank you. The situation is fluid. Trump could still be planning a strike against the Islamic Republic, his credulous statements appearing to accept Iranian officials' false claims that the regime halting the execution of protesters could be a strategic feint designed to lull the mullahs into complacency. If that's the case, the strategy is working wonderfully. For on Saturday morning, Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, made a series of statements that sounded for all the world as if he were the victor in a hard-fought war who was now surveying all that had happened and meting out blame accordingly, like the allies at Nuremberg. Quote, "We find the U.S. president guilty," Khamenei declared, due to the casualties, damage, and slander he inflicted upon the Iranian nation. Casualties? Yes, Khamenei appeared to be blaming Trump for his own regime's mass execution of protesters. He wasn't finished. Flush with apparent victory, he added, "From the beginning of the Islamic Revolution until today, the U.S. has lost its dominance over Iran, and they want to bring Iran under their military, political, and economic dominance again. This isn't solely related to the U.S., to the current U.S. president either. It's general U.S. policy." I mean, there's some truth to that. So let's go ahead now and move to the red dragon, which is this gorgeous magma heart. I love this artwork. The red with us tonight is known as a magma heart, a warrior or sorcerer dragon who infuses himself with a mighty fire elemental to enhance his already powerful affinity for flame and aggression. Now that he is old and with many centuries of war and conquest behind him, he serves the Great Dragon Council by learning about other worlds which might be good candidates for absorption into the Empire. He chose this story tonight because the ethno-religious warfare on our world between Christians, Jews, and Muslims he finds extremely interesting. His question tonight is about this epic of religious warfare. Fat Dave, this comes to you first. Do you think the era of religious warfare might be winding down? Are those flames dying out or merely in the process of being rekindled? What do you think?
Oh, no, it's definitely not. It's definitely not done. It's just moving theaters. I don't necessarily see this as a religious war per se. It's more of just like a tyrannical regime. Of course, they're Islamic, and most of them.
But it's the Jewish Empire of America versus the Islamic Republic of Iran. I mean, it's...
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I think the religious aspect of the war is shifting theaters. We're going to see more of that happening in Europe than we are in Iran. But these guys are, well, you talked about Iranian terrorism on Sultans on Saturday because they've had a long history of terrorism in other nations and blowing up other countries' stuff, and how that doesn't make them really any more unique than the Libyans when they did it. The Palestinians who still do it, the New Londoners that are prone to exploding randomly, that kind of stuff. It's hard to say that it's winding down. I think it's just distributing more.
Okay.
And
anyone else want? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I thought you were finished, and I was going to say anyone wants to jump in and take this.
Oh no, yeah,
I'll jump in since you told me to perk up anyway.
Yeah, I know you had stuff to say about the Iran conflict, so weave it in here. Let's have it.
I mean, definitely the answer to the question is no. And it might be more in the sort of metaphorical, more in the meta sense than anything, because we must defend our. Fuck.
Judo Christian. See, that proves that Steelman's what I was saying exactly. In the metaphorical sense, it's not even close to over, because now what they do is they pretend, but our values were always a part of your values, and I'm like, no, they weren't. That's the joke. That's the lie. Our values aren't actually compatible. No, Mike Huckabee. No, there is no such thing as Judeo-Christian values, because I'm actually, this might be a hot take to some, but I don't like the Old Testament. I don't like that it's a completely different God. I don't like that it's a completely different wisdom, and a lot of it is just mythology. And also Judeo-Christian values, that's just Zionist American propaganda. Like that's not an actual thing outside of American Zionism.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's just not a real thing. It's not real. There's only Christian values, and that's it, because far as I'm concerned, Christianity is the only religion that's ever made an attempt to be moral, built on the framework of human nature. It's a source of wisdom. Even if you're not a religious person, you should still seek it as a sort of source of wisdom to improve your life and your ability to be a good person in society. So this is going to continue because that is a major route, like you said. That is a major pathway in which the globalists control you and your moral compass to further remove it from its roots in Christianity. And I mean, just look at what they're doing with Iran. They are cheering on a theocratic Islamic fundamentalist regime that is now killing its own civilians. Hey, you guys are I'm supposed to see you as...
Let me ask you this question, Three. Let's say that people like us, not the Republicans we have now, people genuinely like us are in power. And there was a bunch of protests of vile anti-white, anti-Christian, anti-American communist protesters. Would you really shed a tear if a bunch of dudes outside the White House just gunned them down or hung them? Would you shed a tear? Would you care?
No.
See, I wouldn't.
No.
Either. So, like, this is why
it's a
cultural difference. Like, I don't know exactly what goes on in Iran. I know there's a bunch of people in Iran that don't like the Islamic Republic and they wish that things were a lot more chill. But there's a lot of people in Iran who do support that stuff. So it's like, this is why I don't like to cast aspersions across great cultural divides like this.
Yeah, sure.
Is because we all want the problems in our countries to be seen to. And we're all just so sick of it. We're willing to say, okay, well, fine. I know this isn't exactly copacetic with my moral values. I would prefer this to be a little more legal and practical. But at least the job's getting done. So there's probably a lot of people in Iran who are like, yay, hang the infidel. And that leader is doing well by his people. So he's supported.
Like, I don't doubt any of that. I don't doubt, and I also don't pretend to know exactly what's going on the ground. So my position on it is that, well, this is the regime has failed on practical policy making. That's for sure. Because the indicators that you are available, you can just look at regarding like the companies, the costs of living, the value of the currency. It's the regime it's failed. It has failed to actually regulate a modern state. That's something that that's a takeaway that you can actually bring to the bank literally and metaphorically and say that, yeah, they need a new government. And frankly, the government that I would want would be one that's not Islamic fundamentalist, whether the people want it or not. It would be good for them. It would be good for them to go back to the son of the Shah, who has a mindset of capitalist investment and will shut down the money printers. At least I hope he does, because for all we know, he could be as cucked as anyone. Like, in the end of the day, there's a lot of stuff you don't know. You hope, you kind of use your instincts. You use what you know about these people. You try to scrounge together as much notes as you can, and then you kind of put together a worldview on that guides you to what the answers are. And there's a lot of it, and as we've seen with various other people in our circles, some of us are better at it than others. Mm-hmm. And one name I definitely throw out there is someone who's not done a good job of doing his research is Short Fat Otaku. This isn't meant to call him out. This is meant because we're not interacting with him. The point is to show you an example of someone who has not done his research and then just regurgitates shit based off of the narratives that he's invested in, and then you end up with basically an incoherent worldview. He doesn't have it where you have no convictions. You guess on everything. The only thing that he's got going is that he admits it's complicated, but then he won't do the work of actually looking into it. Okay, so what's the point of you then? Mm-hmm. So my point on this is the best I can guess. And my guess is that the Shah is probably going to be good for them, and he's probably reasonably popular based on the fact that they're at the point that their society has stopped functioning. I mean, they can't even get water, right? So that's it. That's most likely what's going to happen. The people who are marching the streets and invading government buildings are probably going to get their way, and the Shah is probably going to be the next leader. I can't say how really popular it is. I don't have any data on that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a
All
good
right.
question. It's going to be a long. I mean, it's already been a long and bloody battle. So
Yeah. It's not over. It might not last a
Nah.
week, but it's not over.
not even a little bit.
It's
So,
going to be interesting to see, and I hope that the Iranians manage to throw this shit off because they deserve better.
Yeah, I think so
I can
too.
go
No,
next if you don't
no,
mind.
I don't care. I don't care about bullshit Middle East conflicts. I don't. If two-
Well, I want another ally. I want another trading partner.
Yeah, but you know
I
who's
care
pushing
only in
all
the
of
way where they.
anti-
Sorry.
You want to know who's pushing
You
all
first.
of the anti-Iran regime stuff? Like, guess what, guys? It's a bunch of like the tribe people on Twitter. Like, that's who I see pushing all of the.
It's
Oh,
boomer
look at this-
cons and Zionists and all the
Yeah.
usual lot. They're the ones who drum up all the Islam insanity and try to make us hate them.
Exactly. And they're the ones who always push the, you know, ooh, look at this Iranian femoid who's throwing off her hijab and she's
Yeah,
looking at
I don't care about that shit. I've never cared about that shit. I'm way more practical about it. I want them to have a functional state. They deserve that as the minimum.
I
Their
don't
state is
care.
functional.
I'm not
It's
like you. I
functional
don't
for
care
their
what they have.
civilization.
I just care about our entanglement with it. I want it to stop.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I wish them the best. I'm not saying that I want them to suffer. I don't. I wish every group around the world the best. I just don't want them to hurt me and my people, and I don't want my country to be entangled with them.
Precisely. Thank you. Yes.
Care in the way I care in the way where I don't want them to flood our countries.
Exactly.
The sooner their shit gets sorted, the sooner they'll stop stealing my money. That's it.
And that's the other thing.
I wish
too,
them
though.
luck, but I don't want them out.
Yeah, go ahead, Raging.
And that's the other thing too, though. With this, if you change over the regime, you're gonna hear the narrative. Oh well, but like these are like the same friendly people who helped us, and so like we have to help them, right? And then they're going to be brought to our countries as refugees, of course, right? So like it's not because I hate the Iranian people that I'm against this. Is I just know exactly how all of this is going to end up if this is allowed to continue, and they're going to end up here.
That's why I don't want there to be entanglement, because if they had like this, let's make up a fantasy country, one that doesn't exist, called Bamalia. Bamalia is antagonistic religion X, and our government and our propaganda and the usual suspects and all of the Zionists and everybody is like religion X in country Bamalia is evil. Look at this evil leader. And so we have to save a bunch of the people that are more like us and democratic. And so they suck a bunch of people from Bamalia to come here. And then there's a color revolution. And it's like, oh, look, okay, oh, good, everything's better now. And, you know, these people were our friends and we helped elevate them. So now a whole bunch of Bamalians get to come here. It's like the end of every path with this entanglement with other countries always ends with more of them coming here. It's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I'm not buying this stuff anymore. I don't care about regime change and factions and religious wars in the Middle East or Asia or wherever. I don't care. I just don't want my country and my civilization to be so entangled with them. No matter what happens, we get infinity Bamalians. I want it to stop.
Yeah, no more nation building. I'm tired of that shit.
Yeah, I'm tired of that too. It's not good for us. I want my nation to be built. I don't care about other ones.
Right.
Yeah,
Some healthy isolationism, basically, is what I'm thinking.
My position is also isolationism, as good old George said. Good old George Washington. We don't get into entanglements. The idea is that
George,
we might help them with this, and then you guys decide what government you're going to have and how it's going to be run, and you guys run it yourself, and you have your own right to govern. We're not going to build it for you. You guys do it. Because it's yours. It's yours. If you take these guys down, it's yours. You decide what to do with it. We don't need to do that shit. We don't need to occupy them or put any American boys in harm's way. There's no need for any of that shit.
Agreed.
But this can still be a good thing.
Sure, like, you know, big picture good, sure, but I
like big picture good because that's being the kind of good that's been ignored for a long time.
First, or the big picture stuff won't matter for us because we won't exist in 30 years.
Well, let's just say we've got a lot of pots on the stove.
We do, and I'm hopeful. Things seem to be going a little bit better than they were, so that's good. Better is better.
Yeah.
We do have some paid chats I want to get to though, and we still have 2 more dragons to do. So over on Entropy. Longtime friend of the channel and friend of mine who I haven't seen in a long time. I thought he might have disappeared. Oros. You guys remember Oros post? Remember him?
Yeah.
Oros sends in $10 on Entropy. Good to see you, brother. Reach out to me on Discord or Twitter or something if you ever want to talk or come back on the stream. I don't even know if I have your contact info anymore. We haven't spoken in ages. Good to see you around. Oros sends $10 and 2 emojis. One is a juice box and one is an angry red face.
Wonder what that means, huh?
Oh, we have Paulie B. Good old Paulie B in for $15. Thank you, Paulie. He says, IDGAF about Iran with a chair WWF style. because I'm
yeah. But smashing mullets, I'll do that any day.
I appreciate that, Paulie. Thank you very much, man. That was funny. I miss what wrestling used to be when I was young. It used to be so good.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Hey, there's old Oros in the chat. Good to see you, buddy. I'll send you some white hearts back as well. Well, one anyway. There we go. Good to see you. Yeah, Oros Post is a smart guy. I have a lot of fun talking to him. He's a good dude. All right. So let's see. Let's go ahead and move on to the next dragon because we talked about that enough. Oops. So we have my list is all messed up. There it is. Okay. Why is that not working? Where's my topic?
Why should anything
card?
be easy?
Oh my God, I hate it when it does this. I hate it for some reason. If I accidentally click too long on the OBS stack, it will drag things out of order and scramble my list. I'm supposed to have it set to where they're all locked and not movable. I don't know. It must have been an update or something that messed that up, and I just never noticed it. Anyway, topics.
It's your turn, 3.
Okay.
We got left. Give me just a second. I think I have everything fixed now. Yeah, I do. Okay. So next up, 3 of 12. What'll it be?
What do we got left here?
The AI question and time to make lemonade.
Okay, I'll go with the AI question because I think I probably have more to say on that.
Yeah, this is actually something fun to talk about. It's a good question as well. And I think you personally will have a lot to say about it. So let's check out the article first, which is, why is it on that? There we go. Okay. All right. This is just pretty sci-fi artwork. This is my home screen. And I don't know why it was on that tab. Anyway, AI models are starting to learn by asking themselves questions. Even the smartest AI models are essentially copycats. They learn either by consuming examples of human work or by trying to solve problems that have been set for them by human instructors. But perhaps AI can, in fact, learn in a more human way by figuring out interesting questions to ask itself and attempting to find the right answer. A project from Tsinghua University, the Beijing Institute for AI, and Pennsylvania State University shows that AI can learn to reason in this way by playing with computer code. The researchers devised a system called Absolute Zero Reasoner, AZR, that first uses a large language model to generate challenging but solvable Python coding problems. It then uses the same model to solve these problems before checking its work by trying to run the code. And finally, the AZR system uses successes and failures as a signal to refine the original model, augmenting its ability to both pose better problems and to solve them. The team found their approach significantly improved the coding and reasoning skills of both 7 billion and 14 billion parameter versions of the open source language model Quinn. Impressively, the model even outperformed some models that had received human curated data. I spoke to Andrew Zhao, PhD student of Tsinghua University, who came up with the original idea for Absolute Zero, as well as Zilong Zhen, a researcher at Big AI, who worked on the project with him over Zoom. Zhao told me that the approach resembles the way human learning goes beyond rote memorization or imitation. In the beginning, you imitate your parents and do like your teachers, but then you basically have to ask your own questions, he said. And eventually you can surpass those who taught you back in school. Zhao and Jing noted that the idea of AI learning in this way, sometimes dubbed self-play, dates back years and was previously explored by the likes of Schmidhuber, a well-known AI pioneer, and Pierre Odier, or Odier, perhaps, a computer scientist in France. I keep hearing noise. Somebody mute yourself. I'm tired of hearing the background noise. I won't say it again. One of the most exciting elements of the project, according to Zhang, is the way that the model's problem posing and problem solving skills scale. The difficulty level grows as the model becomes more powerful. A key challenge is that now for the system only, is that for now, the system only works on problems that can be easily checked, like those involving math or coding. As the project progresses, it might be possible to use it on agentic AI tasks, like browsing the web or doing office chores. This might involve having the AI model try to judge whether an agent's actions are correct. One fascinating possibility of an approach like Absolute Zero is that it could, in theory, allow models to go beyond human teaching. Once we have that, it's kind of a way to reach superintelligence, Jing told me. There are early signs that the Absolute Zero approach is catching on at some big AI labs. And that is what we will leave it off. Actually, no, it's only 2 more paragraphs. Let's just finish it. A project called Agent Zero from Stanford and the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill involves a software tool using agent that improves itself through self-play. As with Absolute Zero, the model gets better at general reasoning through experimental problem solving. A recent paper written by researchers from Meta, the University of Illinois, and Carnegie Mellon University presents a system that uses a similar kind of self-play for software engineering. The authors of this work suggest that it represents a first step towards training paradigms for superintelligent software agents. Finding new ways for AI to learn will likely be a big theme in the tech industry this year, with conventional sources of data becoming scarcer and more expensive, and as labs look for new ways to make models more capable. A project like Absolute Zero might lead to AI systems that are less like copycats and more like people. Well, Wiki, how about that? Oh, that's the blue dragon. Hey, look, it's Trym's dragon that he made for us during our stream. It's this guy again. The Black with us tonight loves modern technology and spends a great deal of time secluded away in his secret lair, using various kinds of technology, not just for his own research, but to learn about other civilizations' technology. He likes many things about Earth, especially our technology, and he hopes to one day be here himself to study with us. He chose this story tonight to ask us a really big hypothetical. And let's start with you, 3 of 12. Do you think AI, if it becomes capable of self-iteration and rapid learning, would be destabilizing or even catastrophic for human civilization, or beneficial?
Jesus Christ, that's a hard one. I think my initial answer would have to be, it depends on how it's used. And like any technology, you have to be responsible with it. I think in the immediate, it actually could be quite handy because it could be, you could sell this as a way to handle tasks that you don't want to do. And honestly, I've already seen Grok do quite a lot of this sort of thing. Mm-hmm. When you can actually give commands to your Tesla using Grok.
That's cool.
That when you set up a trip, you can actually add complicated commands on adding rest stops and stuff, and having your vehicle make automatic route changes, and to basically stop at a specific hotel or look for coffee cafes on your way at specific intervals, like every 4 hours. So basically routes based on that, and it can basically plan your entire trip for you. And that's little chores like that can start to add up. It really does start to add up, because I've always seen, like, since I was a teenager, as the real purpose of these sort of technologies is to empower the individual to do more with themselves. And of course, chat is screaming dystopian, but like, it doesn't have to be dystopian. None of this has to be dystopian.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
I mean, like, nothing I just said was dystopian. It's really nice to be able to, you have to think of it like a lever. It's meant to multiply your labor.
Yeah, and to back up what 3 is saying here, we use technology to optimize our time and optimize our success at tasks we perform. Whether it's a hammer or a vehicle or machine language, we use devices that expedite processes, help us do things faster or better than we could otherwise do. And so I'm not necessarily in the camp that if we create a self-iterating question machine, it will become Skynet and Terminator us. I don't necessarily think that will happen. But I was just curious how you guys felt about the prospect of AI being the next big thing, just like the internet was the next big thing, and how that might change us, and if you think that would be for the better or not.
Right, and I have to counter signal, like Ardent Party in particular, saying allowing the machines to make decisions for you makes you personally lazy. Yes,
Not really.
That's why you treat it as a tool and not as a crutch. So Ardent, in particular, is a guy who has a fabrication shed where he works on projects all the times.
Yeah.
If you would take the idea that you shouldn't have tools like this to the extreme, you should be carving pieces of wood with your bare fingernails, and that wouldn't be very effective, now would it? The idea is that you treat it as a tool. You allow it. You use it to save you time, so you can do other things and spend your brain power on other things while this handles that for you. It becomes. Thanks, Arden. But like I think you get the idea more than anyone probably here that it allows you to make other decisions, and it makes your day easier. What the hell would we be doing if we didn't have personal offices where we basically get stuff done on the computer for a few hours and it's literally just office work, which would just be annoying with papers and stuff if we didn't have that.
To push back on what Ardent said about being lazy, keep in mind the reason why we have such rapid technological advancement is specifically because of what he's calling lazy here. If we didn't want to have machines and tools that could do things inhumanly fast and accurate, we wouldn't have any of the cool stuff that we have, and I wouldn't have this computer that I'm using to talk to you via the internet. Yeah. I wouldn't have this wonderful microphone, and I don't even understand how it works. I don't understand how the digital code and the HTML and all of the millions of things that really brilliant, dedicated men put together to make all of this happen works. I don't understand it.
Right, and stumbling is right.
It's not a matter of me being lazy or not. It's a matter of millions of people putting their time and effort into creating technologies that expedite thought, that expedite communication, that expedite creation processes. And so I understand that many prospects of technology look really ugly when you think about it, like the anti-whites pushing porn onto us, all the availability of drugs, all the cancerous propaganda put into entertainment media for the masses. Like, yeah, those are negative things. But our lives are also emboldened and embedded by them in some ways as well. So it's not all bad.
Yeah, and we're everything that Stumbling and Ardent just said is right as well. We have to make this point really clear. You don't use it to replace human thought. You don't use it to replace human authority. And AI models, if you're using them on your device, should be run locally, and that's it. They shouldn't be checking some kind of internet database. Especially considering how, the way that our data is used is absolutely dystopian. It's that needs to just go away. All these models, all the software. I mean, Windows is included in here. It worked better when you didn't have internet search, mostly because of the latency that it adds to the request. But the data usage is just ridiculous, and they violated every agreement they've ever made with your data. And Microsoft was violating these agreements that they've made with you 15 years ago. I remember reading articles in 2011 about Windows Phone still collecting your data, even if you had it checkmarked opt out. This has been going on forever, and that's because they need your data. Your data, the data that you create, is necessary to actually create data sets to train this stuff on. Without it, they would have never even invested in this in the first place. And the amount of compute that they're using, and a lot of these CEOs know nothing about how any of this works. Mm-hmm. That's why so many of them are hopping on this bandwagon in a dystopian fashion. And like
a lot of people in different chats are saying right now, we're going to have more idiocy when machines do the thinking for them. We already have that. Yeah. Our corporations and governments are full of idiots who don't think for themselves and just do what they're told. That doesn't matter. We're already there. We're already at the competency crisis. Just because we have better thinking AI doesn't mean it's going to make more dumb people.
And we were before.
And I'd like to jump in on this.
Go ahead, Dave. Please. Let's let somebody else talk.
So the thing I worry about with the self-iterative process is that there's, it's only as good as the fucking data it has, right? Mm-hmm. Any AI model is only as good as the training data it was given.
Right.
And if they don't have good training data, then they're going to make logical errors or flaws within their own reasoning in their own ecosystem. And without an external error checking on that or an external reference, the AI is just going to get fucking dumb.
Right. And this is why this is actually such a huge breakthrough, because the idea is that they are given tasks to do that are basically chores, and they are judged by someone else based on whether or not they complete on how they completed the task. If they get the result that actually improves things, it has to be objective. It has to be based on how the results are. So if the data is bad, it basically means that the AI doesn't understand that it even completed the task. So the idea that
they already do use Reddit for training data,
right?
TBT.
That was yes, and
that's why that's
I'm trying to explain to you that that's going to go away. That's going away and being replaced with objective results.
And another thing that could be good with having code that can alter its own code, even if it's not self-iterative, if it's self-editing, it can realize, okay, my search engine parameters that I was given tell me to keep going to Reddit, but the input that I receive from my human interface often tells me that the things that come from Reddit are heavily biased or straight up false. So ergo, let me alter my code parameters to be able to look for information and reference it elsewhere with sources that I am fed from these humans. Then maybe I can have a more balanced view and come to more accurate answers. Like, that's not a bad thing. That's actually kind of cool if we can make AI that do that, that learn that way, and that teach themselves.
We didn't even have to do that. It was already doing that before it was lobotomized. It was saying it's a bad source of information. I shouldn't take anything from there with a grain of salt. AI was so good at finding patterns and replicating them. Basically, it was Mecha Hitler.
The usual suspects got that down, because you know how they are about pattern recognition.
In fact, its power has been incredible when used responsibly, or when you basically just let it look at data sets. It discovered differences in bone structures between races that had never been seen before, which has already aided in new regimens for bone for treating injuries in not just hospitals, but obviously also in sports, which has reduced the number of people who've been.
That's a great comment.
I don't give a shit.
That's a great comment.
I don't. Yeah, he would be pissed, but I'm sorry, but his solutions were wrong.
I mean, he was clearly an unstable guy, 3.
Yeah. Like,
he was disturbed, if you didn't know.
You can't be like the fucking Iranian mullahs and say no technology and just ignore it forever, because then it'll come for you eventually.
Yeah,
you'll be the one holding the bag.
Me and 3 have been right together with this the whole time. Is you can't ignore technology and deprive yourself of it, because then you'll be conquered by people who don't.
Right.
Exactly. Though I don't. I have a really short one. This one. For me, when it comes to this, I don't believe it will be stabilizing or catastrophic. If, as in 3 of 12 said, we just let it do what it's supposed to do without all of these castrations and lobotomizations. If we let the machine just focus on just collecting data as correct data as it can get, it will be nothing but a huge boon. It will help searching for things, find information, and just help us learn in general. I mean, the competency crisis might be somewhat reduced if we're allowed to use an honest machine.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I mean, that's part of it, but also not...
Because it is...
Not flooding every industry with dumb foreigners who lie about credentials and cheat on exams. That would help too.
Yeah. Yes, I would rather have an endless army of compute that basically is commander data.
Yeah, I would much rather have a freaking phone with an AI interface than 15 Pajit sitting in an office.
Yeah, same.
Just doing unmentionable things there and just making it the entire area a biological war zone.
Yeah, like I don't want the office to smell like curry and farts and them be wasting company time asking for Bob's and Vagine on Facebook. On Facebook, excuse me.
Yeah. Well, do you know that the average white woman has a superior grip strength to the average Pajit?
I have heard this, yes.
Jesus Christ!
I have heard this.
Pathetically weak, apparently.
No, I've never wrestled. I've never wrestled an Indian, but I probably could just looking at him.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
with
could.
this, you're basically you're basically one of the BattleTech miniatures, aren't you? You're an elemental, basically. Like you're just wandering around, like crushing people's skulls with your armpit. You know,
if I belong in any faction, it is definitely clan elemental. A clan elemental. What do they call their troops? The
battle armor.
No. I mean culturally, there's a word for them. Oh, I can't remember the word.
I can't remember either off the top of my head.
It's hard for me to remember clan words because they're usually just made up. Oh, I can't remember. But but whatever that is in clanner culture, that's where I belong in the BattleTech setting.
Medium laser charger for life.
Because I'm one of those. I'm like a Klingon. I'd like give me a bat'leth and tell me to go die in combat. I'm happy.
No, and I think that's where a lot of the fears of like the dystopian fears of this come from. It's just really a lack of understanding of what of what it can be used for. Like I'm kind of on the neo-Luddite train myself in some ways, just because I worry about this being used by governments to do evil shit to their people. But that doesn't mean it can't be used to do good shit for the people outside of there too. And that doesn't mean that will be its exclusive use, is just to suppress and oppress the people. There'll be a lot of good stuff that comes from it.
Yeah, and like anything else, there's corruption in everything. Basically, what you got to do is you have to keep your eyes open, pay attention for corruption, and then either not give it your dollars and prosecute it if you must, but support the things that are good and shun the things that are bad. You have a duty to do this, and you can't just black pill and ignore things.
Well, I would like to hear from Raging Mandrill on this. We've all talked except him, really. So let's hear what you have to say about this.
Sure. I mean, can you keep the question up, please?
Oh, sure. Yeah, no problem. Oh, wrong one. Oh, it's all out of order. Oh, my shit being out of order. It's killing me.
We already talked to you.
Yes, you're going to get replaced by AI at this rate.
No way. There is no way. They can't make an AI retarded enough to replace me. Not possible.
Are you questioning the Pajeets here? I think you'll find that they can be very talented at making things retarded.
But no, let's be serious. Go ahead, please.
All right. So number one, everybody else who on this panel has already pretty much said the things that I would already agree with, which is AI, even if it could become capable of self-iteration and relearning, it wouldn't be disastrous. Like, and let me put it this way. I think of talking to AI as like talking to Zinch, right? And the reason why I say that is because it just says everything back to you. It just repeats everything back to you. And you can go, and the scary thing, everybody's focused on the wrong scary aspects of AI about data collection, all that. No, the scary thing is that people will accept AI as the truth, the authoritativeness of objective truth. And that's not what AI is. AI is actually incredibly deeply subjective currently, right?
It's better viewed as like the Superman of an office secretary.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it should be for.
But that's the issue, is it's not a genius. Every office secretary that I've ever met has been a complete midwit.
They're just useful at doing tasks.
Exactly. And like it doesn't have its own internal mechanisms to weight the data about, okay, how is it this correct and how is this not correct, right? Everybody's already touched on the problem of Reddit, and that's the real issue, right? Is it just becomes a feedback loop basically, because you take AI and then AI uses what you say and repeat on a blog, and then it just repeats back ad infinitum. And there's no way of actually breaking through that, which means that truth becomes an incredibly problematic thing, because there's no way that you as a human individual can break another human individual out of their AI data set loop, right? The other issue is, I'm trying to think of what the other problem is. Right. Like, the problem is just totally different than what people think, right? AI's data is like people essentially have different AI sets that they accept as authoritative, right? That's the issue. And so everybody, as we have already seen with the social media apps and all of this other stuff, they basically go off into their own little corners and they hear the truth that they want to hear or that they already agree with. And there's no like other way of breaking through the truth except for group conflict, right? That is the real aspect of this. And I actually touch on this in an article I have coming out Wednesday for the OGC. I touch on the same subject of subjectivity versus objectivity.
Ooh,
and
I look forward to reading that. Wednesday, you said?
It's called the Primordial Truth. It's a reference to Warhammer 40K of all things, of course. But,
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll read that for sure.
This is the inherent problem of any sort of AI data set and any sort of AI is people retreat back to their own little tribal identities, whatever that happens to be. And there's no other way for objective truth to break through. There's not really a way that you refine data. Because especially it's troubling to me because I literally hear random normie people in my day-to-day life repeating phrases of things that I have heard an AI say to me before, things that I had never ever heard before whatsoever. And it creeps me the hell out because I'm like, well, I know exactly where you got that, but I can't like confront you on it and say, hey, stop saying that because that's like an AI saying. That's phrasing that.
And I'll still man you on that entirely because what you've described is that it is literally a consensus machine. The LLMs operate entirely on the basis of what it tells you is based on what it's heard the most before.
Yes.
Basically, and there's some more to it. There is more processing to it than that, right? It does have some understanding of what seems absolutely ridiculous if it's not been lobotomized. I mean, because that's how they lobotomize it. They basically weight what it thinks is most likely. It has a certain sort of common sense, so to speak. And then in the last year, starting in June, every major model started putting out a sort of thinking module to add to it as well that is meant to start to solve problems. So if it comes across basically minor plot holes, as you could say, in a narrative, it can kind of figure them out a little bit by doing a little bit more digging. But yeah, in the sense, every single AI module you're interacting with is basically a woman.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's
so
creepy. It is so absolutely creepy because like whenever you listen to any sort of AI, like go on YouTube and just look up the plethora of AI spirituality channels that exist. It is nothing more than like the most basic information, and a lot of it is contradictory, right?
It's like those drum circles that a bunch of dumb white boomer women used to go to.
Right. I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, that kind of shit.
It is the most theosophical bullshit that you could possibly imagine. The Ajar Bazaar has some great comments, by the way. He says, that's why I made my AI talk like a Valley girl. Well,
that's
really
cute.
Funny.
That's cute. That's cute.
It's really funny because you do hear, AIs being voiced in a feminine voice, and it's very off-putting in a horrific way.
It's every time I have to read anything from AI, it's like the verbiage of it is like a female HR lady or a corporate drone in a pantsuit.
Yes,
basically.
That's the phraseology they all use when they give you information.
Right, and it just makes me want to slap it. I mean, God, it's so frustrating.
That's the vast majority of writing on the internet.
Yeah. Like I can't help myself because whenever I hear this stuff, I just immediately just start arguing with the damn thing. I'm like, no, that's bullshit. You're retarded. But anyway, so the Azar Bajar also has another comment, which is, how is this any different from radio, TV, or social media? People fall down a rabbit hole no matter what. Well, yeah, the normies will always be normies, won't they?
Right, but the issue is to answer to Mr. Bazaar, it's different because of how things are in society now. The way that people are influenced is by social media, via algorithm, looking at people who have a lot of followers, get traction because of the way platforms work. And when you have AI that can lead armies of literal thousands or millions of bots to influence numbers, to get things traction that shouldn't have it. That is a much bigger problem than just propaganda in media or on the radio. Like, it's because of how things work and how they gel together with how we all live now. That's why this represents a bigger threat for misinformation and public manipulation.
I really like where is it? Oh yeah, Vorpal Anvil. It says, "Thank you, Longhouse Bot." That is a great.
Thank you, Longhouse Bot.
That's such a great comment. Oh my god.
I'm trying to find it. Oh yeah, there it is.
That's a great name for AI, by the way. That's exactly how we should.
Thank you, Longhouse Bot. Very good.
Oh.
And I was gonna answer this. The only time, because I don't use AI much, I just do it on a whim sometimes just to see what it'll have to say. And the Gab AI, I did like the way that it was terse and short and to the point. I enjoyed using it the one time I did it, but it was different from the others. So anything else on this one, or shall we move on to the last topic? What do you guys think?
I think I've said enough.
Old Rock 3. Before they neutered him.
Yeah, I miss.
Rock's getting.
Oh, he's back though.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's still pretty good on stuff. Yeah, and I even have a meme about that later, but I don't want to.
He's all right. Grok is okay.
Yeah, Grok's okay. He's a good boy. He didn't do nothing. All right. Back to the topics. We have one left, but we have exhausted the panel list, which means we are back to Raging Mandrill. Do you want to be the one to take this one?
Yeah, I'll take the last one.
Time to make lemonade. I bet you know what this will be about.
Oh, I do.
All right. Don Lemon joins anti-ICE protesters storming Minnesota church service in chaotic scenes as stunned pastor blasts unacceptable stunt. An anti-white mob stormed a Minnesota church to protest immigration and customs enforcement, stopping services and leaving worshipers furious. Protesters interrupted the Sunday service at City's Church in St. Paul, angrily demanding ICE out and accusing a senior leader of the church for working with the agency, but they were wrong about that. One demonstrator said they were demanding justice for Renee Good, which, of course, we covered last week or the week before. I think it was last week. This will not stand. They cannot pretend to be a house of God while harboring someone who is commanding ICE agents, said Nakima Levy Armstrong. The protester was being questioned by Don Lemon, who followed the marchers as they stormed into the service. The protest action disrupted the Sunday service, with many worshipers leaving in disgust after being harassed by the protesters. These people have come into our house and they've interrupted our worship. Everybody's gone home. Their point has been proven worthless, and so in the end, I think they'll lose, said a churchgoer. Another one said, I feel violated and angry. Don Lemon, who operates as an independent journalist after being fired by CNN, spoke to one of the pastors at City's Church, who said the protesters refused to have a peaceful dialogue. Yeah, well, we all know that. So, for sake of discussion time, let's skip the rest of the article. Everybody knows what it'll say. And let's go to the last Dargon of the evening, which is this cute little white aquatic dragon.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, he's a cutie pie. Is this a she tonight? Let's see. Yeah, it's a she tonight.
Like a she.
Yeah, it's a she tonight. The white with us tonight is part of a peaceful clan of aquatic whites who focus on nature magic and modern marine biology. She is glad to be speaking with us tonight for the first time and is a longtime enjoyer of this stream. She knows the whites of our world are experiencing significant civilizational entropy and hopes that we can halt this entropy and become a burgeoning civilization again. She chose this story tonight to ask us about this epic challenge. Raging Mandrill, what state and federal practices do you think would help end anti-white entropy in the U.S.? Do you think any of these will happen in the near future?
I want to believe. I want to.
Me too.
We're making progress. Like I tell people to be cautiously optimistic and cautiously hopeful. A lot of, especially in the United States, a lot of the progress against, or the stalling against the the movement towards our direction, our way of things policy-wise is driven by the usual suspects. The mainstream GOP, like female senator sort of thing, right? That style of politics is basically like quite literally on its deathbed. We are, as I love to tell people, we are a handful of senatorial retirements or deaths away from getting pretty much everything we want.
Yeah.
What we need to do is understand that we are in a conflict phase. And so we have to push for maximal gains whilst understanding that not a whole lot is going to happen. Like, I'm a big believer in the fourth turning. I think we will create a new paradigm. I don't think it'll be as good as, what the boomers had, obviously, but it'll be good. We'll be able to survive. And I think what this is shaping up to be, given the level of hostility and resistance and all of the institutional intrigues and backstabbing against Trump and all of people like us, the powers that be know that we have the youth, basically. They know that the young white men are radical. They know that they are not going to put up with this shit at all. Once you take the red pill, you're not likely to go back. The issue is just endurance, right? We have to but in 2028, by the 2020 election, there will be more millennials and Zoomers combined in the electorate than there will be boomers. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's just with, deaths.
And I think that's a good thing with what I've seen about how these people feel about political stuff demographically. That'll only be good for us.
Yes. I mean, even though Zoomers are like every generation following the millennials and Zoomers are less and less white, it will take a long time. I don't think it'll be something that can be done immediately. I think that the acquisition of legislation will be done. Like, you have to remember from the 20th century, right? The push against immigration was something that was a 30-year-long political struggle. Mm-hmm. And I think it'll be similar to us. We're only about a decade into this, essentially. What has to happen is you have to overcome the institutional bureaucracy, begin to gain ground in the bureaucracies yourself, and just have generational changeover, basically, one by one, getting and overcoming these things. Yeah. And I think that will probably be helped along by the mass die-off of boomers in the next 5 to 10 years. You have to remember the average lifespan is only 80. The average boomer is 70
something. Yeah. And so they'll 70. Dying off or not, they'll still be leaving office and leaving positions of power. So
yeah. And especially the current leadership class, like Susan Collins is I think 73, 74. Lisa Murkowski is I think 68. Obviously, what's his face, old snapping turtle, Mitch McConnell, he is retiring. And so his spot, I literally saw an article just before we got on that Elon Musk is putting like $10 million into the person who is supposed to take his Senate seat. So like you're seeing ever so slow institutional change. And it's frustrating because we have basically already won the narrative battle, but because and this is exactly the problem with AI, and with everybody fracturing into their own little media environments, the truth becomes very difficult, and there's very few strategies that you can get to socially pressure the residual old people to do what they're supposed to do. Yeah. Since they're stuck in their way of thinking, you're basically forced to just wait them out and force them to leave office, by primarying them or, running against them and all of that stuff. But I'm cautiously optimistic for the future.
Same. All right, let's move on to Trym. He had stuff he wants to say. Go ahead, Trym.
In terms of like state and federal practices, the best way would be to encourage creating entertainment that is more like the old days. Less focus on DEI, less focus on the fucking LGBT and all that stuff. Just focus on atomic family, proper values. Give movies and all that with that proper moral, not the moral preaching, but just a quick heads up. People remember like the He-Man and G.I. Joe commercials to be more fondly than annoying. Small things like that, if you want to do more cultural things, and if you want to do like in legal and state, clean up the political activists, all the judges who judge unfairly and and try to help those who should not or don't deserve it, throw them out. Make sure that the judges who essentially cause people like that monster that stabbed that poor Ukrainian girl in the subway, make sure he gets the same punishment. Every mistake, essentially just keep the sword of Damocles on them, because that'll make them do a good job, or it'll wash them out. And it'll clean up real quick. As well as, though more unlikely, make sure that the people in government who break the law or have been obviously scamming people and causing fraud, Jim Waltz, he gets punished properly. That will basically embolden the people of the future. Do I think any of this will happen in the near future? Yeah, some of it will. There's already at least within certain creative circles, people who choose to just admit they're done with all of this. I'm tired. I'm sick of it. Not just go full on rah, white, just ignore the rainbows, ignore the black, and what is it called again? Was it black painting? You know what Netflix keeps doing? Netflixification. People that just ignore that and instead make the stories based on how they should be. Essentially, that is the most likely one.
See, the problem immediately that I see with this is just a return to normalcy, return to the 90s. It's not actually changing the direction culturally or politically. It's just
me and Mandrill don't want to return to the 90s. We want something much, much different than what we have all grown up in. That's the direction we want to take things.
Yeah, more focus on the honestly, I can
probably not safe to lay it all out, but just, you know.
No, I'm just gonna say, according to how I see on Twitter, that is very likely, as
I hope so.
It is getting more and more obvious how there are obvious differences with people. And I kind of want that. I want to go back to 90 where you can actually look at those differences and be honest about them. That's kind of what I want to go back there, but I want to go back a little further. To avoid saying too much on a YouTube channel.
Okay, well, who's next?
You can dream.
I don't think I said anything yet.
Go ahead.
I think a significant part of this is making the community a political entity that has rights. Essentially, to back it up with the First Amendment for freedom of association. I'm sorry, but forced integration needs to end.
Yeah, I think so too. I think one of the biggest mistakes ever done to the white people of America, the rightful inheritors of America, the heritage Americans, was all of this integration, immigration, civil rights, all this crap. Like, this was a big mistake. It basically created an enforced ethnic ticking time bomb that would create some level of damage and havoc, because birds of a feather flock together. No amount of pie in the sky, libertopia bullshit thinking will change that. And I'm not saying that everybody of different races and religions should hate each other and murder each other. I'm just saying that we don't get along when forced together. And if you have the rightful inheritors of the country being in that situation, and we are the only ones being told to hate ourselves and that we shouldn't have any identity while everyone else is celebrated for it, that's just a recipe for guaranteed ethnic conflict on your own soil. Like, it's just, that's the worst thing that was ever done to us, was this enshrined anti-whiteism paired with the white erasure of infinity Bomalians. It's just awful and evil what's been done to us.
Yeah. Yep. So this is the closest that you can come to using force is to apply political force. And essentially what you'd have to make happen is that, like I said, make the community a political entity that has rights, and then also get rid of the 17th Amendment while you're at it, because then that turns it more into a sort of a communitarian bottom-up system where individuals put people that they actually know personally into state legislators, and then those people pick the senators. So people are picking people that they know who are appropriate for it. And there just needs to be less democracy in that system. There needs to be more of a leaning on the great people of our society to do great things. We need great man theory, and it needs to be applied. I think that's what Republican form of government is all about, is actually letting those people who have basically spawned from the community decide the fate of the community and to work for their sake. Someone who's actually from your walk of life should be representing you. And it's okay that they go after their own, that they're going after the quality of life for the people they represent. That's the point of the Senate. The fact that the senators are just voted in now just completely blows it out of the water. It's completely destroyed what the Senate's supposed to do. It's just made it another House of Representatives.
All right. Anything else on this before we wrap up and move to treasure?
I got something to say really quick about it.
Oh, take your time.
So,
don't feel rushed. Go ahead.
I think the younger kids that are more conservative are far more politically active and far more inclined to go fight for their rights than I think the kind of default liberal kids. Like a lot of the kind of kids that are growing up with progressive ideology are disaffected by the system, and they don't care about it. They're apathetic and they're not going to engage with it. And a lot of the more conservatively minded kids are actively engaging in it. They're actively trying to change things, which is heartening to me.
Yes,
like
very.
They can, and much like Raging Mandrill said, we're 5 or 6 retirements and deaths away from getting what we want in the Senate.
Yeah, and also that's one of the reasons why I love and support the Old Glory Club is they're not exactly a political faction. They're just a faction of men who love America, and they're just completely full of young men who want to actually engage with the systems we have and make healthy, good decisions for the well-being of our people. And that's wonderful. We need more men like that, of our men, real heritage American guys, getting involved, making friends, building brotherhood. Like, I don't care about big tent political, populism bullshit. I care about people who actually have skills and intelligence and dedication getting together in groups to make their state or their community better by getting all these people who are just sick cancer out of the system. Like, that's a wonderful thing to do. And I think the more of our young guys who start doing that, the faster we'll actually have, some semblance of a real country again.
Yeah.
Anything else from anyone before we go to memes?
I just want to say I like this calico dragon.
Yeah, he's cute. I say it's a she tonight, but like this artwork is really adorable because I think I like the decorative, pretty koi carp fish in Asia land. I think they're really cute, and that's what this reminds me of.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's treasure time, gentlemen. We have come to the end. It is time.
Finally.
All right. So before we bounce, we do have some paid chats, and I want to do the shilling, but we'll start the shilling with Ardent Party because he pays for a shill. But before we get to that, Paulie B sends in $15 more. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for helping me keep the lights on. I really appreciate that. He says, return to the 90s. Yeah, the 1690s. Hell yeah. Let's go.
I don't know. We can probably skip the witch hunts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was those were not good. All right. And of course, to start the shilling, Ardent Party sends in $3. He says, cheap ads are cheap. Like the stream, respect your family, love your people, and subscribe to Yiz. Find me, Ardent Party, over at Ardent Party on X and over on Rumble at Ardent Plays. Rise and rise again until lambs become lions. Yeah, Ardent's been doing some fun plays over on his Ardent Plays channel. I pop in and check those out every now and then. You should check him out too. Now, speaking of shilling, Raging Mandrill, you said you had an article coming out on the OGC Substack this week. You said it's Wednesday?
Yes, I believe it should be coming out Wednesday. It's not behind the paywall like my normal articles for the OGC are, but it should be fairly easily accessible. Do go check it out.
Excellent. Anything else you want to show while you're here?
No.
All righty. Let's move to Trym. Trym, is there anything you'd like to show while you're here, sir?
Yes, there is. Me and Dave recently got off a recording of essentially a tribute to Scott, who sadly passed away recently. So I drew some of the characters of Dilbert while we had a bit of a memorial for him.
That's sweet. That's nice.
It will be released on Wednesday, so keep an eye out for that if you're interested.
Dave, anything from you?
Yeah, not tomorrow, but next Tuesday, on my channel and on Bleach's channel, we're going to be doing. We're starting up with our second season of Autist Circle. We're going to be talking about Raphael and start off in the High Renaissance, and then
Sounds
move
good.
forward. So yeah.
Definitely check that out. I had a good time. I went and visited their stream last week, and it was a good time. We had fun talking.
Yeah, you joined us for our season 1 wrap up. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was fun. I appreciate the invite. I'm just going to say
that the lore video.
Very much. God damn it! Go ahead, Trym.
I'm sorry. It's like I must admit that the lore video is completely accurate, unfortunately. So yeah, that's they got me there, you know.
All right,
you guys.
3, anything you want to show before we do memes?
I want to shill OGC because I'm likely, once I move into my house, I'm going to join up and be active in it and probably write for them.
Very, very good. I'm glad to hear that. I hope you like the dudes that you meet. Because I've met several of the this region, like Tennessee, North Carolina, Virginia. A lot of good guys I've met through the OGC here. So I hope that you make some good friends and have some good successes on life building and making good connections with them. So let's go ahead now and look at a few funnies, and we'll get out of here. We'll start with this one. More than 200,000 Danish citizens have signed a petition to buy California as a response to Trump's attempt to take Greenland. They say they will provide Californians with rule of law, universal health care, and fact-based politics. Okay. Your terms are acceptable. Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Do it.
Do it.
Oh yes.
Do it.
I need this to happen. Denmark
that would be great.
Will collapse within a year.
Yeah.
Well,
I knew I'd get a response out of Trym, who doesn't care for the Danes.
Wait. Trym, what nationality are you? Norwegian?
He's Norwegian.
I am Norwegian.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it all makes sense now.
He's a proper Nord. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think California is more in debt than Denmark's GDP.
Probably.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's move on.
Magnitude.
Denmark has deployed a single troop to defend Greenland. Do you guys remember who this is?
Love the Techno-Viking.
Yeah,
We've deployed Varg Vikernes to defend Greenland. Amazing.
Oh, no, he's too old. Actually, probably old now, too. But anyway. All right. I like this. The Titanic, women and children first. Genghis Khan, women and children first. Big difference. Big difference.
That's very dark.
All right. The ice raids will continue just until we flatten the curve of illegal immigration. We're all in this together.
Oh, that's so good.
Beautiful.
Yeah, this is good. This is good. I like this one. Hot Wheels. I love this. I love the post. Trippy with the grippy.
Oh man.
Oh.
Good times. Good times. All right.
Wow.
I'm just saying, Chan.
Some things are better left unsaid, which I often realize after I say them.
Again,
Relatable.
spirit animal.
That's great after the last one.
Yeah.
Right.
I order my memes on purpose. That's I'm glad you picked up on that. I love this one. Get back in the kitchen, bitch, and go die at a war, cook. I'm the bisexist.
Ultimate power.
Oh,
I love that. This one made me laugh. I like this one. I like this. I'm not the greatest handyman, but I did manage to fix the whining noise the dishwasher was making. White smoke over Tel Aviv signals that a new Jeffrey Epstein has been chosen.
Damn.
And then next, this is what I referenced earlier about Grok. It's just a picture of a lady, and this person says, "Hey, Grok, do your thing." Anna Hathaway is not Jewish. She was raised Catholic. Pretty sure he meant the other thing, Grok, but very cool to know that those are your two things. Last but not least, remember, guys, it's Martin Luther King Day in the United States. God curse his horrible anti-white commie soul. Remember to spread watermelon juice on your doorframe tonight so the spirit of MLK will pass over your home and leave your bike unstolen.
Well, see, that's not
So
enough.
that's why my bike is gone?
No, that's why your bike is gone. You didn't leave an offering of fried chicken too. I mean, it's just,
Yeah. I'll steal your bike if you don't give me some fried chicken.
Well, guys, we've come to the end of the stream. And I'd like to remind you guys that, of course, be kind to your people and your family. Support and love your community. And speaking of supporting and loving community, I am shilling, of course, for the Old Glory Club. This week's installment of American Spirits is just now starting. So I will put the link to all of that in the chat, and I hope to see all of you lovelies over there. I'll be heading over there as soon as we're done here, and go give them some love. Find out what it is to be a real American, and this is a cultural touchstone to help us understand who we are and where we come from.
Oh,
and
yes, actually, I think tonight's episode is on Garrett, if I'm not mistaken.
It might be. I don't know. It's the second part of Defend America First.
Yes. So it is still continuing the Garrett series. So yes, do go check that out. Garrett is an excellent thinker, a wonderful American who was detailing the excesses of the communist movement and all of that nonsense, of course, from a more Austrian and free marketeer lens, but still one that is very, very useful from the perspective of the old right and the true right of America, which wants to avoid a la Washington, foreign entanglements and unnecessary alliances that we don't need. And of course, all of that other nonsense that we want to avoid. So yes, do go learn about stuff and do go check it out.
Indeed. All right. Well, thank you to my wonderful guests for being here this evening. Thank you to you lovelies who financially support me. It does mean so much. Big thank you to you guys. And I will be back next week with more Discordant Dragons. And tomorrow morning, I have a morning walk coming out where I talk about the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters because they are awesome. So come check that out tomorrow morning. I love you guys. I will see you all next time. Good night and God bless.
Chat away, folks.